Hey everyone, J7J's here, bringing you my Tactician mode tier list for the Ivalice Chronicles. So I'm going to be factoring in things like how strong they are in their base or primary job, their stats, their abilities like their action, reaction, support, and movement abilities, their equipment options, and then also factor in things like mixing and matching their abilities. So this time around, I feel like every single job has their role, whether it be a certain ability or leveling up and so on. So all that being said, let's get started. Now with the archer, I wish they were better this time around. Their aim feels a bit faster, but they're still too weak damage-wise in my opinion. You can do some cool things with speed surge, which is their adrenaline rush, and concentration is probably the most overlooked or underrated support ability, as you can work around evasion in most cases. But your damage output is just too weak, and oftentimes you're going to be fighting not in a very advantageous position. So with Archer, I love the way they look, but they gotta be in C tier. Now, Arithmetician or the Calculator. If you're using them in their primary or their base job, to me they're just way too slow and their stats aren't that good. However, their abilities are the most insane in the game. You can cast these abilities, the magical spells like Holy and Flare, instantly for free, and you can target multiple enemies, which is game breaking. I would normally put them in AA or S tier, but using them as a primary job, they're just too slow. And also, Soulbind is a very underrated reaction ability. You know, you're going to take 50% of the damage, but you're just going to redirect it. That can be dangerous in Tactician, as enemies hit super hard. You could get KO'd outright or in a few hits. So there is that. XP boost is also very overlooked and underrated. It's nice when you're trying to level up characters, you know, after you do a D level as a bard, and then you level up as a mime, or if you're a female, you want to do chemist or something like that. So very underrated abilities. I'm just knocking Calculator down or Arithmetician because used as the primary or base, I wouldn't recommend it. Now the bards, I gave them a lot of heat in the past for tier lists, but having something that can possibly increase your speed, attack, and magic attack is very overlooked. And we also can't forget move +3. It's by far the best movement ability in the game. It's consistent, and in most maps they're rather flat, so you can move reliably and easily. But because they can't really kill, their stats are bad, and you know, harps and bags to me aren't the best, I gotta put them in B tier. To me, their saving grace is the fact that they can buff, and movement +3 is incredible. Now the Black Mage. As a base, they are insane. Eye Faith, they have good support ability with magic boost or arcane strength. Their spells are still devastating. There's also death. They're never a bad choice, even in Tactician mode. Sure, their damage takes a hit, but they're still devastating. And they are a great primary base job, especially if you put them with Arithmetics as a secondary. To me, they're AA. You also can't forget about Toad or Frog as well. Now the Chemist. Even though their stats are bad, as a base job, they are very good. They have passive throw items, treasure hunter. They make the best treasure hunters, so that's awesome. They have a higher probability of picking up the rare item. Auto potion is still good. Safeguard, reliably healing Phoenix downs. They are incredible, and they're good primary. And they get even better with magic guns later into the game. To me, they deserve an A. You can get some of the best items or the rare items with them, so that. Now the Dancer, they can be deadly, still a bit RNG, kind of like with the Bard, They can slow enemies, cause negative status ailments, but if you have bad RNG, they can be a problem, but they can be very deadly in the right team setup. Their stats also aren't that good. I mean, their PA is alright, to be honest, but their HP and whatnot, it's not the best. To me, they're like the Bard. They're more deadly offensively. I still wish Jump plus 3 was good, and you can do some cool things with Strength Surge. But to me, they're just B. I like how they're more offensive. They can really cripple enemies. But Cloths, I don't think, are the best weapon, even though they have a good weapon block rate. Now, the Dragoon. They're very similar to me, like the Arithmetician, in regards to, like, their abilities are very good and overlooked. Like, Jump is insane. The only way you're blocking Jump is if the unit gets out of the way, or if the enemy target has Shira Hadori. Dragon Heart is very overlooked as a reaction ability. To me, it's underrated. If you block or dodge, you can still trigger it from a physical attack. Ignore height or elevation is very good. I just wish they came down from Jump faster, because it's based on speed and CT. Dragoons still aren't the best jumpers. Equip Polearms is great, so that will increase your jump damage as well. So to me, they're A-. I do recommend putting Jump as a secondary on something that's fast. Kind of like the Arithmetics, like their Arithmetician, their abilities on other things will be good, using them as a secondary. Now the Geomancer. Because damage is weaker here, their negative status ailment chance gets even better. Also, Counter Flood or Nature's Wrath is a overlooked reaction ability, and also we can't forget about Attack Boost. All their damage throughout the entire game rather, isn't going to be great. They have good mobility, they have good equipment options with shields. They're going to get BB in my opinion. Like, they're not overpowered, they're not bad, they're just right in the middle, and if you can get negative status elements onto your enemies, it's game over. Of course, there's still that chance though. Now for the Knight, I love the way they look, but most of their abilities, they're very high risk, high reward, like it's RNG dependent. And in regards to the reaction ability support, their reaction ability parry, and their support abilities like equip sword, and equip heavy armor, and equip shields, I don't think they're the best for the most part. To me, the Knights really shine when you mix and match certain abilities from other job classes, like, Geomancer's attack boost, Archer's concentration, or dual wield from the Ninja. And to me, they get Knight swords a bit too late. Like, Knights can do devastating damage with Chaos Blade, and their Arts of War success rate is based on their PA and their weapon power. But to me, they're just better things. I'm going to put them in B. Like, to me, their saving grace is with Knight Swords, and I guess I'll factor in their looks to be nice. Now with the Mime, I don't like how they can't equip any kind of abilities or items, but they do have, passive concentration and brawler. They're deadly in that regard. With a dancer, bard, mime setup team, it can be very deadly, but to me they're just too limited, and you really have to coordinate and set them up well for them to be deadly for those reasons. But they're also great when you want to de-level and re-level your character with the Generator Trap. Like, they have the best PA, MA, HP, so they're very useful in that regard. Not to mention, yeah, they look cool, so I'm going to put them in CC this time. Now, I don't think anything is like D or F, but Mimes do provide that utility, and if you coordinate really well, they can do devastating damage, but they require a lot to set up. I still don't recommend them in most battles or cases because no abilities and no equipment options, but they do provide amazing utility in other ways. Now, monks this time around are still fantastic. Chakra is an amazing way to heal yourself. They still deal good damage, critical recover HP, counter, first strike, martial arts, life font. They are one of the best things to use, in my opinion, as a base or primary. To me, they deserve AA. Like, they're better than the Arithmetician in that regard, using them as a primary. So I'm also factoring in that. Now with Mystics, or to me, they are A- this time around. You have to factor in their movement ability. Mana Font, to me, is overlooked. Defense boosts their support ability as well. And I like Drain a lot, and the fact that they can inflict negative status ailments, Petrify, Stone Disable, very overlooked this time around. They are Lucavi Busters. There is that. Their pulls can hit pretty hard too, especially if you get another support ability, which I will cover shortly. Double Hand Mystic, they can hit pretty hard. So I do like the Drain this time around, and Defense Boost and Mana Font. Now, ninjas are very good. They're the fastest things in the game. Dual wield, reflexes. Although throw is kind of gimmicky, throwing axes and flails this way, they can do good damage. And base move set of 4 and jump set of 4. They're so mobile, so good. Can't forget dual wield. To me, they are AA. They are wonderful as a primary base. They do well with other support abilities like attack boost, and even Brawler Ninja is amazing. One of the best things. So you do want to level them up for speed, and they also have good PA too, like physical attack. So wonderful as a primary job. Now the order here, they are kind of a high risk, high reward with, invitation. They can invite some regular enemies to your side, which most of the time the chances are low, but when it happens, it can be insane. They are also the only thing that can raise your faith stat and decrease your faith stat. And to me, that's so overlooked. You can really manipulate the AI to do some crazy things. You can also increase faith, and equip guns is very overlooked as a support ability. So my placement for them might be a bit controversial. I'm going to put them in BB. The fact that you can manipulate your faith, lower your faith, you can really practically ruin enemy mages or what bosses can do. So they can also increase and decrease bravery. They're a wonderful utility. So I really do like that this time around. And they can also inflict, negative status ailments as well. So some people might rate them lower than this, but the fact that, the faith stat and even bravery. Like, I know Ramza is better for his steel, but we can't forget about them this time around. So the samurai. We're on the samurai. Their Iaido is insane. I still wish it was, based not on their MA, because I wish they would be stronger as a primary base job. The males look really cool with their armor. And their physical attack is good, but their HP and speed and base move, I wish was better. Like, as a primary, they suck, but we can't forget how insane Shida Hadori is, and certain Iaido abilities like, Muramasa, Masamune, Kiyomori, Murasame. It's wonderful. So to me, I'm going to put them in A-. Like, I'm just stocking them down because on their primary, it's really not that great. But Shida Hadori is amazing. You want to use Iaido or draw out on things with high MA, so like a black mage. Very, very deadly. Now, the Squire. In their primary, they're not that great, but move +1, JP boost, focus are all insane abilities. Like, they make you more mobile, they can get you certain jobs faster, more JP. You focus enough times, you can deal enough damage to one-hit anything. So, but as a primary, they're not that good. So, they're B. Like, their stats aren't great, but focus, JP boost, move +1. You can even argue throw stone will help you farm JP early on. So their utility, and base move's out of 4. So you could technically move around and just focus and then push off the enemy that way. So there is that strategy as well. Now the summoner, I wish they were faster, but they can still do devastating damage. Golem is one of the most overlooked abilities in the game, and you know the AI is going to want to attack you physically with Golem. They can do Zodiarch. Have MP is overlooked. I still prefer something else, which I'm going to say, but to me, summoners, I'm going to give them a minus because they can be devastating as well. Now the thief, they are more utility. Like move +2 is fantastic. Like for females, that's your best movement ability, and with males, if you don't want to get barred, they'll be there as well. Like sticky fingers, that's how you can get multiple copies of some of the best melee weapons in the game. You know, chaos blades, more javelin 2s, etc. And also steel is a very overlooked ability. Like it can be used offensively, getting rid of someone's weapon. They have good evasion, good mobility, and you know, steel heart charm is very overlooked as well. So for me, because of the utility that they bring, they're immobile, they're fast. You can do a fun thief jump build with them as well. I'm actually gonna put them in BB. Like some people will say B, but they can do some cool things. You can steal some cool items as well. Move +2. Oh yeah, let's not forget poach. You can get some of the most insane items in the game, like chantages, ribbons. That's all because of the thief. Like, I mean, you can steal a chantage from Melee Duel at Pervenia, but the thief, they just offer so much with that poach. But as a primary, you know, with daggers, knives, they're not gonna do the most damage, but I'm gonna put them in BB. I think they're pretty good. Like nothing's really bad here. They have their uses. Now Time Mage, I think, is so insane. Teleport, even though the JP cost is now 3,000, is still arguably the best movement ability along with move +3. Just teleport and move within your character's move range. A swift spell, aka swiftness, one of the best support abilities. Mana shield lets you take so much damage. And let's not forget about haste being insane, slow, and Graviga. Time mages are great. I'm going to put them, and they can be used as a primary quite well. I'm going to give them A. Graviga is wild, you know what I mean? Slow, swift spell. You can't forget about those abilities. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna move the Arithmetician up just because their abilities. Primaries, they suck, but yeah, there we go. AA. Like, that's how insane their abilities. Yeah, I'm gonna move the Arithmetician up. My bad. And then lastly, the White Mage or the Priest. They're fast, but their support ability is overlooked. Like, I recommend that for Ramza if he wants to learn Ultima. That's about it, really. Regenerate, it's like regen. I don't think it's amazing. I mean, it's overlooked. And their healing spells, Holy is devastating, you know. Don't forget that. But Holy is weaker this time around in Tactician. The healing spells will be nice, but you gotta rely on faith and a cast time. But they're not bad by any means, you know, like they're pretty good. So I'm gonna put the White Mage in B tier. So everyone to me has their uses, some clearly better than the others, but you know, like with the Archer, concentration so overlooked, speed surge. The Mime, lack of equipment options, but they have insane stats. You know, he can do some awesome things with the Degenerator. They take time, but yeah, this is where it stands on my tier list. So again, I'm factoring in how strong they are in their primary, also their stats, abilities, equipment options, and also mixing and matching. So, hey, let me know if you agree, disagree. But this is what I feel kind of pushed me through battles this time around in Tactician. Arguably no different than even the base game of PlayStation 1 and Wordblind. So again, thank you all. I'm slowly replying back to comments. I'm getting so many, but thank you for giving me a platform, watching my videos. I wish you the best when it comes to your health, wealth, and happiness. Take care. More videos to come.